Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today is March 25th and it's time for a winter sowing update. We sowed the onions 6 weeks ago and they germinated in 24 days. We sowed them mid-February and now it's the end of March. I want to plant my onions 4 weeks before our last frost. Here in North Central Maryland, our last frost is at the end of April. So I want to plant them next week, means today I need to start hardening them off. And I'm going to make a separate video for that. But for sure, when we're finished filming here, all of these containers need water. They need a good long drink. We sowed the red cabbage 5 weeks ago, and it germinated, hang on, let me check my notes, in only 19 days. We sowed it mid-February. And I want to plant those out early to mid-April. So I'm going to start hardening them off next week. We sowed our lettuce 5 weeks ago too, mid-February, and it germinated in 10 days. It germinated quickly. I want to plant out the lettuce about 2 weeks before the last frost. Here, that's going to be towards the end of April. So I'm going to start hardening them off mid-April, about the 14th. We sowed our kale late February, 4 weeks ago, 4.5, and it germinated in 20 days. Now it's a little bit behind because the jug dried out. There was a gap, and I think that slowed it down. It's still tiny, but I'm going to start hardening it off today because you can transplant kale 4 weeks before your last frost. I'm going to make a separate video about this. Pansies were sown 4.5 weeks ago too, just like the kale. And a few have germinated. It took 20 days to germinate. They need to be sown 6 weeks before they're planted out. So I could start hardening them off now, but I want to wait until they grow more. The sweet alyssum, it was sown 3 weeks ago, early March. It germinated in only 7 days. I'm going to want to plant that out near the last frost. Here, that's the end of April, so we'll harden it off the week before that. Snapdragons were sown 3 weeks ago too, and they germinated in 13 days. They were sown early March. I'm going to plant those 2 weeks before our last frost. mid-April. I'm going to start hardening them off early April. Napa cabbage, it was sown 3 weeks ago too, and it germinated in just 7 days. Yes, we also sowed it early March. And I'm going to transplant that near the last frost also, at the end of April. And a week before that, I'll start opening it up to harden it off. Now we just sowed our stock flowers just 5 days ago, and they haven't germinated yet. I'm wrong. I do see a few starting to poke up. I'm going to plant those out mid-April and start hardening them off in a week or two, but pretty soon. Chard was also planted late March, just 5 days ago, and nothing has germinated yet. I did check. Those can be planted out mid-April and start hardening them off in a week or two. But we'll see if they'll be big enough by then. And last we have parsley. It was sown 5 days ago also, and nothing has germinated yet. I'm going to plant this out a week before the last frost, near the end of April, and harden it off mid-April, if it's big enough. We'll see. And we have one more seed we need to sow in March, and that is cilantro. I didn't realize I was out of seeds. And yesterday, 2 days ago, I was at the store and I found some and I snatched them up. And I'll make a separate video about that. I'm making individual videos about each vegetable and each flower so that I can edit together a full growing season and have one video about sowing to harvest. They all need a good drink. It's because it's in the 60s now. Right now inside the jugs, it's 75 degrees. I think this is a better option. I need to start checking these every day. Come back and check our progress. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.